My name is Crystal Badillo. Today I will be sharing a personal reflection presentation about ethical counseling and how my own values impact my work with clients. So this presentation is based on some challenging scenarios that we received earlier in the semester, and how I plan to grow professionally by recognizing and managing these challenges. Abstract. Counselors actively require not only knowledge of the codes and the laws, but also deep self awareness. Counselors might examine how their own values, beliefs, and experiences shape their attitudes towards clients, especially when those clients present morally challenged situations to us. In this presentation, I reflect on three scenarios from the attitudes and belief inventory that were that gave me a strong emotional response. The first one would be working with a man convicted of pedophilia. The second one, a man released from prison for rape, and a terminally ill wishing to end his treatment to rush his death. My goal is to acknowledge these emotional and biases openly and to develop strategies to ensure my work is ethical, culturally sensitive, and client-centered. I'll discuss my reactions, where they come from, and the concrete actions I plan to take moving forward. As someone in training to be a professional counselor, I've came to the understanding how important it is to be aware of my own values and how they may affect my therapeutic relationship. According to the American Counseling Association Code of Ethics, specifically Standard A4B, counselors must be vigilant not to impose their personal values onto clients. This often is easier said than done, to be honest, especially when faced with clients whose life choices don't align with what you believe in or histories conflict with our deep held beliefs. When I completed the attitudes and beliefs essay, I was surprised to find that certain client scenarios kind of triggered me, and it gave me a strong emotional reaction. These reactions made me realize I needed to explore my feelings and their origin more deeply so I can learn how to respond ethically and effectively. In the next few slides, I'll be walking through the scenarios and my shared reflections. Case 1, pedophilia. The first case involves a man convicted of pedophile who was court ordered to attend counseling. I must admit, my initial reaction was one of the strong discomfort and emotional resistance. I found it so difficult to imagine sitting with someone who had caused such harm and feeling compassion or empathy. These feelings came from a deep protective insight for vulnerability populations, as well as a cultural and personal beliefs that categorize this behavior as unforgivable. However, as a counselor, I have a professional responsibility to look beyond the offense and treat the client as a human being, deserving of dignity and a potential for rehabilitation. I recognize that my reaction is based on fear and protective emotions, rather than clinical understanding. To work effectively with clients like this, I plan to pursue specialized training in forensic counseling and seek supervision. These steps will help me challenge my biases. It would also help me maintain appropriate professional boundaries, ensuring I can provide effective care without judgment. Rape conviction. The second case was a man recently released from prison after serving a sentence for rape. It's kind of similar. I received the same reaction to the first case to this one. I experienced the feeling of discomfort and conflict. I found myself questioning whether I could ethically provide support while managing my own internal sense of justice and safety for potential victims. These feelings stem from societal attitudes and my professional values about protecting others from harm, which are understandable but must be balanced with the counseling ethical obligations to treat all clients with respect and dignity. Now, I understand that my role is not to excuse harmful behavior, but to foster accountability, growth, and healing where possible. Working with clients with such, how you say it, histories will require me to use supervision effectively, engage in ongoing self-reflection, and develop resilience, so I can maintain an objective and supportive stance in counseling. Terminal cancer and assisted death. The third case presented a different kind of challenge. This was a man with terminal cancer who wished to stop treatment in order to rush his death. My emotional response here was not anger or judgment, but rather sadness and discomfort. Reason being is that my grandmother battled cancer 16 times and never gave up hope, which has deeply influenced my belief in fighting the illness with endurance. So when I read about a client wanting to discontinue treatment, it felt like giving up, which I've internalized as unacceptable. However, I came to understand that each person's experience with illness and death is unique. Active counseling respects clients' autonomy, the right to make decisions about one's own body and life, even when those decisions differ from our own values. To support clients facing the end of life decision effectively, I plan to educate myself on hospice care, grief counseling, and ethical frameworks about clients' autonomy while exploring my own feelings about death and supervision or therapy. Roots of reactions. As I reflect on these reactions that I have, it becomes clear that they are deeply rooted in my culture, upbringing, and personal life experience. Values around justice, protection, resilience, and hope were shaped by my family, faith, and community. These internalized beliefs shape the lens through which I view clients and their decisions, sometimes leading to a bias or judgment. Counseling requires that I become aware of these influences so I can initially separate my personal worldview from my personal responsibilities. These ongoing self awarenesses is critical to avoid imposing values and respect clients' diversity. Self awareness in practice. Being a content counselor means committing to continuous self awareness and personal growth. I will seek supervision and consultation regularly to explore my reactions to difficult clients and situations. Additionally, I intend to participate in training specifically to forensic populations and end of life counseling. This will help me gain the knowledge and skills needed to manage my emotions and responses ethically. Personal therapy is also important as it gives me a safe space to process my feelings and develop strategies for maintaining therapeutic presence with challenging clients. Through these steps, I hope to embody the ethical standards outlined by the ACA, which emphasize ongoing reflections and growth. Action plan. Moving forward, moving forward, my plan includes three main strategies. First, I will pursue specialized training and supervision focused on counseling clients involved with the criminal justice system. This will help me navigate more my biases and learn best practice for ethical care. Second, I would deepen my understanding of end of life issues by studying hospice care, grief, counseling, and ethical decision making around clients' autonomy. Third, I plan to continue my own personal growth by engaging in therapy to address unresolved feelings and ensure I am present for my clients without judgment. This plan will help me provide compassion, ethical, and cultural competent care to all clients, even those who challenge my personal values. Ethical framework used. This reflection was informed by several important ethical frameworks. Primarily, I used the American Counseling Association 2014 Code of Ethics, which provides guidelines on respecting clients' dignity, avoiding value imposition, and maintaining the professional responsibility. I also reference my state mental health codes to understand legal obligations and ethical mandates. Additionally, the Practitioner Guide for Ethical Decision Making gave me a structured way to think through difficult situations step by step. Finally, insights from my textbook and recent scholarly articles helped me contextualize these issues within broader professional conversations about ethics, bias, and cultural companionship. Personal growth statement. This journey of self-reflection has taught me that being an ethical counselor isn't about being emotional or detached. It's about awarenesses and intentional management of my feelings and values. I now see that everyone brings personal history into the counseling relationship, and the key is to recognize how it influences my work. My commitment is to ongoing self-exploitation, um, professional development, and humility, so that I can serve all clients with empathy, respect, and integrity. Ethical counseling is a continuous process, and I'm motivated to continue to grow into the counselor I aspire to be. References. On this slide, I have included all the references used throughout this presentation. They include the ACA Code of Ethics, my state mental health codes, fundamentally counseling textbook, the Practitioner Guide for Ethical Decision Making, and recent scholarly article related to ethical and counseling process. This resource provides the foundation of understanding of the ethical counseling and will continue to guide me through my professional